I wonder. It all starts there, doesn't it? With just a tiny spark of curiosity. Some of the most interesting journeys ever made have started with those two little words. And today, we're going to show you how to take that spark and turn it into a full-blown research report. So, welcome to our explainer on writing a research report, the ultimate starter kit. We are going to break down the whole process, step by step. And by the end of this, you're going to have a clear method to tackle any research project with, believe me, a lot more confidence. All right, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the really fun part, exploring all the endless possibilities. Then we'll get focused. We'll talk about narrowing your subject and asking that one big question that's going to guide your whole project. After that, it's time for some detective work, finding and checking your sources, and finally, we'll cover how to take notes that make the actual writing part, well, a total breeze. Okay, first up, endless possibilities. Here's a little secret. The absolute best place to start a research report isn't some topic you're given. It's something that genuinely, truly gets you excited. So, how do you find it? Well, you start by just brainstorming a list of stuff you're interested in. Your first draft might look a little all over the place, kind of like this one here. It's jumping from basketball and World War II all the way to martial arts and tropical fish. And you know what? That is perfect. The goal right now isn't to find your final topic. It's just to get those ideas flowing based on what you actually care about. Okay, so once you land on a big idea, maybe something like World War II, you have to shrink it down. I mean, you can't write about everything that happened. This next step is all about going from this huge, massive subject to something much more manageable and focused. But before you fully commit, run your big idea through this quick test. Let's stick with World War II. First, can I find enough facts about it? Oh yeah, absolutely. There are tons of books, websites, you name it. Second, can I get the information I need in time? Yep, it's available at pretty much any library. And last, can I make this interesting to other people? For sure, it's a huge part of history. So with 3 yeses, we know it's a solid place to start. So how do you actually narrow it down? This thing, a cluster diagram, is an amazing tool. You just put your main topic, World War II, right in the middle, and then you just start branching out to smaller ideas. See how African American soldiers in WWI then leads to something even more specific, the 761st Tank Battalion? Now that is a perfect, focused topic for a report. And let's be really clear about why this is so important. A narrow topic doesn't mean you're writing a smaller report. It actually means you're writing a deeper one. It lets you go way beyond just scratching the surface so you can really dig into the details. And that's what makes a report feel powerful and, honestly, memorable. So, you've found your focus. Awesome. Now it's time to give yourself a mission. This next step is all about figuring out that one single big question that's going to drive your entire research project from here on out. And to find that big question, you start with smaller ones. A great way to do this is the 5W how technique. Who, what, where, when, why, and how. So for the 761st Tank Battalion, you might start asking things like, who commanded them? What kind of discrimination did they face? Where did they fight? This just gets your brain firing on all the different angles of your topic. And after you've brainstormed all those smaller questions, you'll start to see a bigger one take shape. For this example, it becomes this. What did the 761st Tank Battalion do during World War II? This single, open-ended question, this is now your North Star. Every single piece of information you gather from here on should help you answer it. Okay, you've got your mission. It's time for the Great Information Hunt. This is where we get into the nitty-gritty of finding sources and, maybe even more importantly, figuring out which ones you can actually trust. First things first, let's get a handle on the 2 main types of sources. You've got primary sources, which are basically first-hand accounts, think diaries, letters, official documents. Then you've got secondary sources, which are a step removed. They analyze or interpret those primary sources. Think encyclopedias or documentaries. A good report is going to have a healthy mix of both. Now, if you want to seriously level up your online searches, you gotta go beyond just typing in a few keywords. Use search limiters. Using the word "and" combines 2 ideas. Putting your phrase in quotation marks looks for those exact words together. And using "not" gets rid of stuff you don't want to see. Seriously, mastering these little tricks will save you hours of scrolling. So, you found a source that looks promising, but can you trust it? Use this simple 3-step trust test. First, is it nonfiction? For a research report, you need facts, not made-up stories. Second, Is it current enough? For a topic like this one, a book from 1994 is probably fine. But if you were researching, say, social media, you'd need something much newer. And finally, is it trustworthy? Can you back up the info somewhere else? You're finding great, trustworthy sources. That's fantastic. Now we're at the final step before you even start writing, capturing all that great info in an organized way. It's all about making a note of it. Here's the thing. You do not need to write down every single word you read. Before you jot anything down, ask yourself 2 quick questions. 1, does this information directly relate to my big research question? And 2, will this be interesting for my audience or help them understand something better? If the answer is yes to both, then write it down. This right here is a perfect example of how to organize your notes. A great note card has 4 key things. First, a category label, like later battles, to help you group ideas. Second, the source number, so you can find it again easily. Third, and this is so important, the notes are in your own words. And finally, the page numbers, so you can always go back to the original spot. So here's the bottom line. Taking organized, thoughtful notes from the very beginning isn't just busy work. It's the secret weapon that makes the actual writing process smoother, faster, and honestly, about 1,000 times easier. You're basically building your report piece by piece as you go. And there you have it. We went from a simple I wonder all the way to a collection of well-organized notes just waiting to be turned into a powerful report. You have the complete roadmap. So the only question left is, what journey is your curiosity going to take you on?